Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to do something pretty cool. We're going to learn how to speak a computer's language, and we'll be using Python to write your very first program, a simple greeting that pretty much every single programmer writes on day one. So let's dive right in.
Really think about that for a second. We use language all day to talk to each other, but how do you give an instruction to a machine? Well, that's all programming really is. It's a conversation. And you'll see that Python makes that conversation way simpler than you might think.
So, why Python? Out of all the programming languages out there, what's the big deal with this one? Well, it all goes back to its core philosophy, which was all about one thing: making code easy for us humans to actually read and understand.
Let's hop in the time machine for a sec. Back in 1991, Python was born with this totally new mission. The goal wasn't just to make another language that worked, but one that put human clarity first. The result? You can often express these huge, complex ideas in just a handful of lines. And that's not just awesome for beginners. It means less code to write, less code to fix, and less to maintain down the road.
Okay, enough history. It is time to get our hands dirty and write our very first program. We're going to tell the computer to say hello to the world. This is a classic tradition, kind of like a rite of passage for programmers, and it is the perfect first step.
Okay, get ready for this. You might be picturing lines and lines of complicated text, but what you're about to see is a 100% fully functional, complete Python program. That's the magic of it.
And boom, there it is, print hello world. That's it. That's the whole shebang. This one little line is a complete instruction that tells the computer, hey, display the text inside these parentheses. Seriously, congratulations. You've just witnessed your first piece of Python code.
So, what in the world did we just do? It might look like a magic spell, but every single character in that line has a purpose. So, let's pull back the curtain and break it down piece by piece.
First up, we've got print. Think of this as an action word, a command. It's a built-in function, which just means Python already knows exactly what to do with it. When you type print, you're basically shouting, hey computer, get ready to show something on the screen.
Now, what about the stuff inside the parentheses? The hello world part. In the programming world, we call a chunk of text like this a string. And those quotation marks are absolutely crucial. They're like little signals to Python that say, hey, everything inside here is just text. Don't try to run it, just treat it as a single thing.
You might also see lines that start with this symbol, the hash symbol, or a pound sign. This is what we call a comment. The computer literally skips right over it, pretends it's not even there. Its only job is to help us humans out, letting us leave notes for our future selves or for our teammates to explain what our code is doing.
Okay, so we know the basic building blocks. Now let's talk about structure. We're about to cover Python's most famous and sometimes, infamous rule. It is the golden rule that really sets it apart from almost every other language out there: indentation.
This right here is the whole key. In a lot of other languages, you'll see curly braces or special keywords to group code together, but not in Python. Here, we just use white space, spaces or tabs, and that indentation, it's not just to make your code look neat and tidy. It's actually part of the language itself. It tells Python exactly which lines of code belong together in a group.
Now, while you could technically use tabs, the universally agreed upon standard, the secret handshake, if you will, is to use 4 spaces for each new level of indentation. This consistency is just so important. Think of it like an outline for an essay. The indentation immediately shows you the structure of your program's logic.
So, what happens if you break one of these rules, like the indentation rule? Well, you get an error. But listen, do not be afraid of errors. They are not a sign that you failed. They are literally the computer's way of giving you helpful feedback, of trying to help you out.
So check this out. On the left, you see a perfectly fine line of code. Simple. On the right, it's almost the same, but do you see it? That one, single, extra space right before the word print. To our eyes, that's nothing. But to Python, oh man, that's a huge deal.
And this is what happens when you try to run that incorrect code. You get this thing called an indentation error. I know. It looks like a scary wall of red text. But trust me, this error message is actually your best friend. It's pointing you directly to the problem, saying, hey, right here, there's an indent that I wasn't expecting.
So let's play detective for a second. Why did this error actually happen? Well, that first print statement had 0 indentation, right? It's at the base level.
So when Python got to the second print statement and saw that space in front, it thought you were trying to start a new, indented block of code. But there was no reason to. It was just a random indent out of nowhere. And that's exactly what unexpected indent means.
And this really gets to the very heart of what Python is all about. Its whole design makes code incredibly clean and easy to read. But that beautiful simplicity is built on a foundation of very precise rules, like indentation. The language demands that you're consistent, and in return, it gives you clarity.
So there you have it. You've written your first line of code, you've taken it apart to see how it works, and you've even seen your first error and understood why it happened. You now know the fundamental rules for having a conversation with a computer using Python. So the only question left is, what are you going to tell it to do next?